What is going on, interwebs? Straxus back again with another Let's Build. Again, back in Sanctuary. I don't know what to call this one. It's not a gatehouse because there's no gate. I guess you would call it a guardhouse. I don't know. But there she blows. I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know what you think. I will say the sentry towers at the bridge were a huge pain in the balls just because of the water. I'll explain that part when we get to it. I had to put in, as you saw right there, I had to put in wire fence posts because the railings would not clip. So I had to put in several wooden posts from the wire fence to cover the area. Upon close inspection, it doesn't look too hot, but from a distance, it's fine. I mean, up close, it still looks pretty good. That water tower will probably be my next Let's Build. Probably at docks. We'll see. Guard posts for some settlers. That minigun is static. It does not shoot. Those are not people, by the way. That is just Brotherhood of Steel statues. Aerial view of the sentry towers. That's the Dino's Collectibles mod? Collections mod? It's a clutter mod. I've showcased it before. It won't be in this description because it's already in the other video's description. But yeah, those were just some ammo packs, grenade tins, and ammo boxes scattered on a table. Simple, but makes sense for it to be there because it is a guardhouse. Here's what the towers look like from the ground. As you can see, they're raised up a little bit off the water. I personally think that looks nice. The walls also themselves are not even. Just because the way the water is, you know, if you're in deep enough water, there's a current, it's going to carry you away, which makes it difficult to do what I did. But, you know, it looks realistic, you know, human error. But it also lets the water, also for aesthetics, it lets the water flow underneath, so it's not blocking the water flow. I like that bit. It looks nice to me. Here in the recording, I realized, oh shit, I blocked that off with concrete. I was gonna go that way, but I was like, ah, fuck. The McCready was blocking my way. For those asking why my McCready looks different again, in a different video, I showcased a mod that lets you put companions in barber chairs and surgery chair. It also works with modded barber chairs that you can put in your settlements, or the whatever mod that lets you change your appearance in mirrors, I think. I know it works with the barber chair. The mirror might be iffy. Here I'm like, what are these guys doing? Because I assigned them to the 2 guard posts above my head right there. I was like, why the fuck are you guys down here? I don't know if they're wandering and they only go up there at night, or their pathing was fucked and that's where they ended up. I don't know. Hopefully it fixes itself. But let's get to the building, shall we? Oh boy. Now this is the sentry towers. As you can see, I'm using these shack foundations for the tower itself. Makes the most sense. I will say I did have 4 towers, 2 on either side. The second tower was to the right of that one, and would be to the left of this one. But the railing on the bridge was too high, even though I raised the turrets up using the 2-step stairs. The stairs that are just 2 steps, and a small shack floor, the really tiny square. Even though I raise them up with that, it still wouldn't be able to shoot over the railing. So I eventually delete the tower that would be to the left of this one and to the right of the other one, and I just leave it with 2. This part was the pain in the ass because of the water currents, but I rug glitch in these junk fences to cover up the shack foundation. I don't know what you would call those, columns, I guess. Now you can't use anything in the water. You can't rug glitch in the water because nothing goes in the water except water resources, as far as I know. So what I did was I took the stairs that kind of look like a ladder, and I sunk them into the ground as far as I could, then raised them so they were slightly over the water, and then I put a shack floor snapped to the stairs, and then I just went back and rug glitched with the junk fence. And I use... is this the right... yeah. I use this junk fence. Sorry, I've got burps. I'm not too far off from breakfast, so it's still kind of like settling. Sorry. I use this junk fence because the other junk fence with the barbed wire doesn't make sense. It doesn't look good down there. Why would there be barbed wire down there? What psycho is climbing this? Also, I guess you could do it for aesthetics, because, lore-wise, you could say, oh, well, raiders will climb there and try to take out the turret, or whatever. If you want to be, like, super into story. But the other junk fence, the one with the tires, there's a cluster of, like, 3 tires stacked on top of each other in the corner. It doesn't look good here. Now, this looks good floating, because you can explain this away. Oh, it's, like, hammered in place, or it's nailed in place, and it's all got support structures holding it in place. And it actually looks good, because the water can still flow underneath of it. But the one with the tires, you can't explain away, because why the fuck would the tires be floating, So, I went with this one, and only this one for the Sentry Towers. It just made the most sense, and there wouldn't be anything floating that I couldn't explain away. Not that I have to explain it away, because, this isn't online. I would love a Fallout Online, personally, but, people hate ESO. Elder Scrolls Online? People hate it. I don't know why. I actually like it. Now, the PvP is a bit fucked, but I still have fun. I like the stealth in that game, actually. There are a lot of people that take advantage of it, but it's fun. I like it for what it is, but people, the real hecklers and sticklers out there just don't like it. But I wouldn't mind if Obsidian, I think it was Obsidian, that same guys that made Fallout New Vegas, if they made a Fallout Online. But then, a lot of people didn't like New Vegas because, Bethesda didn't make it. It was a different company. I'm pretty sure their name was Obsidian. But I liked it. So, and I'm not the only one that liked it. So I'm not saying make an entire game just for me because I like it. But I'm not the only one that liked New Vegas. So if Obsidian, not ZeniMax, the people that made Elder Scrolls Online, because a lot of people have fucking beef with them. But, maybe Obsidian? People that made New Vegas, if they made a Fallout Online, I could get behind it. I'd be all over it. But, I don't have to... It's, like I said, this isn't online, so I don't have to explain any of this away. But, if you're, like, one of those people that's, like, deep into lore and reasoning, you can explain this away. It's hammered and nailed into place, and it's got support structures. And it's high up off the ground, so it lets the water flow underneath. Doesn't block the flow. And it's uneven, which some people might find annoying. I'm anal when it comes to building. So I think it's slightly annoying, but also it accounts to human error. Settlements are built by humans, unless they're synths. So, you know, humans are imperfect. So, I mean, you can explain most of this away. And this is me on top of the tower, putting in the turret. I put all those floors in so I wouldn't fall off. I'd have something to back up onto when I was putting the two-step staircase in. And here I'm sealing off the back. I don't need to jump down there because it's close. See how close it is to the bridge? I could easily just hop over, and I do. But see, the one to the left of this tower and the other tower, it wouldn't have been high enough because of the railing on the bridge. It would have been shooting the railing, even if I used a two-step staircase and the platform to raise it up a bit. It still wouldn't hit over the railing. So I just left it with two towers, and it looks good as it is. So you could do it to the right. You could add another tower to the right, but then you have rubble to deal with, which is a whole nother ball game. See that rubble right there next to that tower? You can see it in the bottom right hand corner. And that's a whole nother thing to deal with. That's a whole nother bag of peanuts, my friend. If you want to deal with it, go ahead. I did not. I was just checking to make sure everything was good and in place. Wide angle. And this was the beginning of the entryway into Sanctuary. I wanted it bottlenecked, so if we got invaded, we'd have a way to keep the numbers to our side. Though spawning on invasions seems to be sporadic at best. There's no set spawns. They could spawn inside your fucking settlement. And I put them that close so that people couldn't, like, sneak by. Because if I kept them up further when I snapped, if I kept them up further, they could easily just walk right by all of this. But if I kept it close to the railing, it actually touches the railing and no one can squeeze through there. They're forced through this tunnel I'm making. It wouldn't cooperate, and I finally got it. Like most things in settlement building, it's all trial and error. It's like that fucking child's game with like the blocks that you, like certain sized shaped blocks that go through certain holes. And some kids just keep mashing the square block into the circle hole until it fits. That's kind of what Fallout settlement building is like. Just mashing shit together until it fits. And here I wasn't sure. I wanted a second floor, but I wasn't sure on how to go about it. But I ultimately decided, you know, I'll just make the staircase off to the side. I plan on utilizing all of Sanctuary. I know most people split it in half and wall it off like just there at the lone survivor's house, but since mods have been thrown into the mix, I've decided I wanted to utilize as much of Sanctuary as I possibly could for people who were using mods, but again, people who also may or may not have the DLCs. So you can still make a decent looking settlement without having like the Contraptions DLC or the Wasteland Workshop. Now, I personally have Wasteland Workshop, but some people don't have Contraptions or Vault, though I'm pretty sure you can't use the Vault stuff outside of the Vault. I have no idea personally because I don't own it. And yes, I do realize Bethesda just had a game sale, and all the DLCs were on sale for considerably 25% off, actually. I think Far Harbor, instead of $20, it was... See, I failed I failed Algebra 2 in high school. So, maths and me don't get along. Me and maths are not friends. I do know that the workshops were $374. And I should have gotten the Contraption DLC, because with the docks I was going to put in, I wanted to keep that water tower because it gives 100 water. It is a mod, by the way. It gives 100 water, but it also has like that pipe coming off of it. I know there's these... What are they? They're like... They're beams. I know Wasteland Dovahkiin, she did a treehouse build where she actually used the beams as like support into the trees to make it look like it had support. She like pillar glitched it into the tree underneath the treehouse to make it look like it had support. Those things, if anyone knows what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know what they're called because I don't have it. But those things, I was gonna pillar glitch them up to the pipe to make it look like the pipe was funneling into those and the water was coming out into those, and those were feeding into a little containment system. No, something like that. It's an idea. And I should have got it when it was on sale, but I didn't. Silly me. And I put in the second floor. The second floor is the ceiling of the bottom floor, but I'm putting in the roof, which is standing on top of what would have been the floor for this second level. Again, the roof is for aesthetics, and I tried putting those tiny squares, those tiny shack floors around so it wouldn't like clip to the edge. But I ended up doing it anyway. But I got it. I managed. But the roof is just for aesthetics. I mean, it keeps out the rain, sort of, but I mean, the roof is full of fucking holes, so it's not going to be as watertight as, say, the houses in Sanctuary. But again, this was just for aesthetics. It gives me a nice solid surface to put my lights on. And it just looks good. And I'm putting these out front facing towards people because I want it to look like, oh wow, these people got their shit together. We could totally set up shop here or live here. I like the look of them, but they look too synthetic. Following suit with the theme of Fallout 4 synths and robots. It looks too synthetic to have them like everywhere. Looks too fake. So I like them out front to make it tight and tidy and clean, but then everything else I just threw together for again aesthetics, but also for like human error, because this is a human settlement, unless you get one of those sneaky synths that sneaks in. And I throw in some guard towers up here. Not the tower, the post. The tower has its own steps that would totally clip into this and ruin everything. But you know, it's just a regular old guard post. And this is me sealing up the tunnel. You don't have to fill in the tunnel. You can you can rug glitch in the front side, the back side, and the side sides. But like the actual inside of the tunnel, where this wall's going, the wall next to it, and where the walls would be if I was standing, where I'm standing, you don't have to put those in. You can leave those out if you like the look of the legs from the shack foundations coming down. But I thought it would give people a place to hide if we got invaded, so I just decided to seal them off completely. But if you like the look of it, you can keep it. And this is more of the stair voodoo magic, settlement voodoo magic I was doing. I raised the stairs just high enough that I could move the tiny shack floor in on top of the guard post floor. because the statues don't stand in the guard posts, they sink right through. So I put in that tiny shack floor so you wouldn't be able to see it from the front, even though I put in railings anyway. But as you can see, he stands right there and it looks just fine. Just some more of that settlement building voodoo magic, you know. Just some of that special twist, you know. And right there, that's one of those spots I fill in with wire fence posts because no matter what you do, nothing will go there except those. So maybe 8 or 10 of those wire fence posts pushed right up, like almost to the point where they red out because they won't go. But just barely enough where it changes from red to whatever color you set your HUD to. Just stack them in there and it'll be fine. Those guys legit scared the shit out of me because I wasn't expecting them to be there. But I have the NPC's travel mod on, so... I don't know if those are scavengers or what. But they they legit scared the shit out of me. I wasn't expecting somebody to be right there. See, I'm still trying as hard as I can to get some shit in there, but it's just not gonna go. So I ultimately decide, what can I fucking do to make this work? So I just go with the wire fence posts. It's really your only option. I mean, you could delete the railing. Let's see if I actually show it in the video. I don't know if I cut it or not. I don't think I did. I hope I didn't, because it's going to be hard to explain. Okay, I kept it in. You could delete that railing, and then attach these stairs to it, and then just fill in with a railing right there. But ultimately, I figured, you know, if we got invaded, somebody could just run up here and hide behind the fucking statue. So I was like, no, I don't like that idea. So I just deleted all that. I deleted the stairs. I put the railing back where it was, and then I put in the wire fence posts. Trying to do the same thing on the other side, it just wouldn't work. So what I did, I jerry-rigged it. I put down the tiny shack floor on top of the foundation, and then I put the guard post on top of the tiny square, and then I just stood the fucking dude, the statue, on top of the floor. Now, without the railings, you'd be like, that looks like shit. But then when you put in railings, you can't see how wonky it looks down there on the bottom. So it's still... He looks farther back and shorter than the other guy, but that's the price you're just gonna have to pay, unless you could do it better than me, which, you know, someone probably could. But this was my process for it. See, see how close and high that dude on the right looks, and then that one looks significantly shorter and farther back. For you lore backstory people, you could just say that Brotherhood of Steel dude is shorter. I guess. He's just shorter. But I inevitably filled that in with railing, so you can't see how wonky it looks on the bottom. And this is just a final tour of everything put together. I know I had it at the start of the video, but I figured I'd throw it in at the end too. And as you can see, I did use the junk fences with the tires in the front, because you can see the tires in the corner. I think they look good in the front. They just wouldn't look good on the towers or on the sides or in here even. I'm not a fast Let's Builder, I'll be honest. I'm too meticulous, I'm too slow. But I think this build took me around... I want to say close to 10 hours, and some of you are like, wow, all that for 10 hours? Dude, you're slow as fuck. Well, a lot of it was trial and error and just getting everything just so. Shout out to that concrete pillar right there holding up that floor. Again, that minigun does not work. It's static. It's just for show. I wish it worked. I might replace those two Brotherhood of Steels with the minigun. I might replace them with the statues that have the assault rifle. Again, that's Dino's Collections. I believe that's what the mod is called. Just a bunch of clutter in your miscellaneous category. In your decorations. And that's the water tower I wanted to incorporate into my docks when I do them. I just wish I had those I don't know what to call them. They look like supports, but they're in a V shape. So you could easily make it look like water's coming down out of the water pump down, or water tower, into those supports and coming down into a line into like some kind of giant vat or something, you know. That's my idea. In my head it looks good, but we'll have to see what the end product looks like. That concrete wall is probably temporary, unless I can spruce it up somehow. I just threw it in there for shits and giggles. Doesn't look too hot, so I'll see if I can spruce it up or just change it entirely. And that's what it looks like as you're coming up from Red Rocket to it. And NPCs can travel through here. Carla gets through this tunnel no problem. Trash can Carla, who comes in the sanctuary sometimes, she has no problem getting through here. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know how I did down in the comments below. Hopefully you guys like it. Likes, comments, subscribes. Hopefully getting to 30 before the end of August. I'm hoping. We'll see. But until next time, interwebs, I will see you later.